He was struck by heavenly lightning for 10,000 years, a divine tribulation that was only supposed to last a few days. Before the storm, Fang Ling Xiao was the undisputed peak of human potential, a peerless genius destined to become an immortal. But the endless barrage of lightning eroded his cultivation base, stripping away everything that made him a prodigy. The heavens tried to erase him. He stood his ground and started eating the lightning, using the pure destructive energy to forge his flesh into something new. His magic is gone, but his physical body is a living weapon. When he finally steps out of the mountains, he looks like a starving mortal. A local girl takes pity on him and hands him some bread. She warns him to run for his life, assuming he is just a frail human with zero spiritual energy. Because the city is currently being leveled by a fire wolf spirit king named Lang Tian. The girl tries to fight back using everything she has, but the beast summons a massive blade of light and crushes her into the dirt, leaving her completely helpless. He prepares to execute her on the spot, but then he points his finger at Fang. The spirit king radiates pure killer intent, demanding this arrogant mortal drop to his knees. And when Fang refuses to bow, the beast decides to make an example out of him, calling down a massive pillar of pure destruction right on his head. The girl watches in absolute horror until the dust clears and Fang stands there picking his ear. Now, the spirit king is genuinely furious. He channels his ultimate technique, a tidal wave of heavenly fire that melts stone on contact. The sheer shockwave blows everyone backward. Lang Tian grins like a maniac, assuming the human has been turned to ash. He grabs the girl by the throat to force her to watch the aftermath. But when the smoke clears, Fang stands there without a single scratch on his skin. He is not even sweating. The only damage he took was losing his shirt, and he stares at the spirit king with pure disappointment. Lang Tian snaps and unleashes his massive true form, a towering beast composed of pure flame. The girl realizes how doomed they are, but Fang holds his ground. The beast vomits a river of fire point blank at his face, trying to burn him out of existence. Fang finds the whole thing incredibly annoying, and right before we see how hard this guy actually hits, 99% of you aren't subscribed yet. May hit that sub button fast to help us reach 1,000 subscribers so I can keep bringing you god tier manhwa. Alright, back to our boy. Fang punches the legendary beast so hard it splinters the earth. The ancient spirit king starts screaming. All of its demonic pressure shatters in an instant. Beaten so badly it shrinks into a tiny trembling puppy just to survive. Fang pets it like a house cat, while the girl watches with her jaw firmly on the floor. Fang decides to casually extort the creature, demanding spirit stones as compensation for his ruined clothes, snatching the wolf by the scruff of its neck and shaking it down for cash, forcing the terrifying beast to vomit up a mountain of high-grade gems, hoping this monster of a human will let it live. But the moment Fang drops his guard, the wolf makes a desperate break for freedom. Thinking it can outrun a physical god, Fang catches it by the tail without even looking. The wolf immediately realizes it made a fatal mistake, because Fang is not just a survivor. He is a man who spent 10,000 years being tortured by the heavens, and now that he is finally free, he has a lot of pent-up aggression to work through. Everyone thinks the era of ascension is over. Everyone assumes a cultivator without magic is worthless. The world is about to find out what a perfectly tempered physical body can actually do, with the self-proclaimed spirit king now functioning as a trembling house pet. Fang demands some answers. Lang Tian spills his guts. He explains he was forced to impersonate Fang and collect cores from dead cultivators. A terrifying woman from the upper realms gave the order. She planted a lethal rune in his chest to guarantee his obedience. Lang Tian had zero choice in the matter. Fang finds this entire conspiracy fascinating. He wants to know more about this mysterious benefactor and her grand plan. The puppy claims people from the upper realm cannot cross over to the mortal world. The spatial barriers forbid it. Speak of the devil. The sky rips open above them. An avatar of this exact woman drops into the mortal realm. She has purple hair, a massive ego, and she operates under a huge misconception. She assumes Fang is a crippled nobody. She mocks him for surviving the heavenly lightning. In her eyes, losing his cultivation base makes him worse than dead. She announces her intention to execute him and retrieve her pet wolf. Fang finds her arrogance cute. She decides to clean up loose ends. She launches a massive attack infused with the power of universal laws. For a normal cultivator, this is a death sentence. And law power bypasses regular defenses and attacks the soul. Fang is not a normal cultivator. He steps forward and meets her supreme spell with bare knuckles. He does not dodge. He does not use a barrier. He punches the magic. The woman watches in horror as her attack shatters. She cannot comprehend what she is seeing. His new body operates outside the rules of reality. Tao patterns and universal laws mean nothing when you can punch them into dust. She realizes her massive miscalculation a fraction of a second before Fang crushes her avatar. Her final words are a promise to hunt him down from the upper realms. Fang considers that an invitation. He plans to go up there and find her anyway. Having dealt with the trash, Fang gets the spatial coordinates for the Ling Xiao sect from the blue-haired girl. Nay, he grabs his canine sidekick and prepares to head home. He expects to find his glorious, prestigious sect standing tall. He arrives at the coordinates. He finds a dilapidated ruin instead. The once great Ling Xiao sect looks like a forgotten historical site. Before he can process the downgrade, a girl with pink streaks drops out of the sky. She points a sword at his face and demands to know his business. She attempts a dramatic landing on her flying sword. The maneuver ends in a catastrophic crash. Fang helps her up. He realizes the mighty Ling Xiao sect is now run by amateurs. Enter Yahello. She is the acting head of the sect. This is a fancy title for someone managing a grand total of 5 disciples. She assumes Fang is a wandering rogue seeking admission. Fang plays along and claims he admires their ancient prestige. Yahello gives him a brief history lesson. A massive tribulation broke the divine bridge 100 millennia ago, cutting off ascension for everyone. The awkward orientation gets interrupted by Li Feng. A smug punk from the rival Spirit Beast sect arrives on a giant Gale Eagle. He is here to collect a management fee. This is a polite term for a blatant extortion racket. Ye Xingyao refuses to pay another dime. She draws her weapon and prepares to fight the extortionist. Li Feng orders his giant bird to attack her. The beast prepares to dive. Then the eagle makes eye contact with Fang. It senses the aura of a man who beat a spirit king into a toy poodle. The bird makes the smartest decision of its life. It throws its master and flees in sheer panic. Li Feng is left stranded in the dirt, humiliated and confused. Now he points a finger and shouts a standard villain threat. He promises his father will hear about this. Then he runs away on foot. Fang explores the empty courtyard. He asks the obvious question. How did the #1 sect on the continent fall this hard? The youngest disciple approaches with a broom. Li Xiaofan is a nervous kid with 0 combat presence. Xiaofan explains the grim history. The old sect master sacrificed himself to sign a heavenly Dao contract. This prevents other sects from attacking them directly. The keyword there is directly. Rival sects use loopholes to bleed them dry and steal their resources. Ye Qingyao tells Fang to rest in his new quarters. She wants to handle the politics herself. But peace is a luxury they cannot afford. A massive explosion rocks the front gates. Fang steps out and finds Ye Qingyao fighting a losing battle against a wall of flame. The ancestor of the Spirit Beast sect figures out a loophole to bypass the Dao contract. He arrives radiating intense killing intent. He is a spirit saint rank cultivator. He uses a fake spatial talisman to enter the sect grounds and burn their defenses. The old man intends to wipe the Ling Xiao sect off the map to avenge his humiliation. He is ancient, ruthless, and assumes he holds all the cards. Fang steps between the flames and confronts the fossil. The old man looks at him and senses 0 spiritual energy. He assumes Fang is a mortal who wandered into the wrong fight. The ancestor channels his strongest flames. He expects to turn this arrogant kid into ashes. He unleashes a blinding inferno. The heat alone warps the air and panics the remaining disciples. Ye Qingyao screams for Fang to dodge. The fire blast consumes the entire courtyard in seconds. The disciples fall to their knees in despair. They think their new recruit is dead. The old man laughs. He promises to burn the rest of them next, but the smoke clears. Fang stands right in the middle of the blast zone. The flames wash over his bare skin and leave 0 damage. He looks bored. The old man stops laughing. He cannot comprehend how a mortal tanked a spirit saint attack. He decides Fang must be possessed by a powerful demon. It is the only logical explanation his ancient brain can process. The ancestor draws a divine weapon imbued with law power. He strikes with speed that cracks the sound barrier. It is a flawless execution of a top-tier martial art. The blade aims straight for Fang's neck. Fang catches the glowing blade with his bare hand. The old man strains against the grip. The weapon refuses to budge. The divine artifact snaps like a cheap twig. Fang has 0 patience for this fossil and his parlor tricks. He winds up and delivers a backhand that caves in the old man's chest. The hit drops the ancestor to his knees. He coughs up a river of blood. The invincible spirit saint is reduced to a wheezing mess in front of the entire courtyard. Fang binds him in thick ropes. He secures his new prisoner for interrogation. He demands the old man hand over 3,000 high-grade spirit stones to pay for the property damage. Fang crouches down and studies the beaten man. He recognizes this face. This guy died 10 millennia ago. Fang remembers the exact battle. The old man goes pale. Nobody alive should know that history. Fang demands to know who resurrected him. The answer might determine the fate of the entire world. The old man stays silent. Fang smiles, cracking his knuckles. He has ways to make dead men talk. The defeated ancestor tears his robes open, exposing a twisted truth. An artificial core pulses in his chest with dark, chaotic energy. The old man confesses the grim reality of his second life. Fang wants answers. He demands to know the puppet master's identity. The ancestor shakes his head, recalling an entity dressed in strange clothes. Fang processes the concept of an outsider operating beyond their world. The towering silhouette of the puppet master haunts the ancestor's memory. This core acts as an external battery, pulling energy from nowhere. The dark energy rises writhes like a living parasite. Fang points out a flaw. The old man still drew power from the environment. The ancestor admits he used a senior beast's scale to temporarily block control. Fang narrows his glowing eye. He asks why attack a ruined sect. Then the old man swears he had no intention of wiping them out. Heavenly Tao constraints prevent him from harming true Ling Xiao members. His real target was a legendary treasure capable of reconstructing the divine bridge. Fang pieces the puzzle together. A divine treasure. The ancestor offers a warning. Attend the Grand Immortal Tournament for answers. Fang is caught off guard. That tournament happens once every 5 centuries. The rules changed. With lifespans capped, it now happens every 30 years. The ancestor freezes, realizing just how ancient this kid actually is. A cold sweat breaks out. He is looking at a living fossil. Having spilled his secrets, the tied-up captive asks for his life. Fang snaps his fingers. He orders the dog to cut the ropes. The old man rubs his wrists and bows deeply in gratitude. He delivers one final warning. If the real threats are the outsiders, the ancestor ignites his aura and blasts off into the sky. A massive earthquake violently rattles the mountain. Ye Qingyao scrambles through the dust, screaming about the ancient tower. She points a frantic finger, blaming her junior brother for the disaster. Fang deflects the blame with a straight face, claiming it was natural seismic activity. The acting sect leader drops to her knees. Rebuilding will cost stones they do not have. Fang redirects her panic, bringing up the tournament's massive prize pool. He praises her raw talent, guaranteeing she will secure first place. The flattery works. She sprints toward the training grounds, fueled by greed. Fang turns his attention inward. Surviving the upper realm requires that treasure. Deep in a dark cavern, Li Yi clutches his bleeding shoulder. His severed limb drops to the stone floor, drained of life. A mass of black corrosive energy grips his remaining stump. The dark energy fights back, wrapping around his hand like a parasite. A golden-robed man controls the corrosive threads with a flick of his wrist. The man mocks Li Yi for relying on cheap tracking marks. He tilts his chin, radiating an aura of absolute celestial supremacy. Immortal Qinghe introduces himself before crushing Li Yi into a smear of blood. Qinghe inspects the area with pure disgust, demanding the hidden artifact. Miles away, the spirit beast ancestor halts his flight in sheer panic. A young woman riding a massive yellow bird descends from the clouds. The ancestor recognizes the terrifying aura of the upper realm. She confirms his fear. The celestial realm sent down an envoy. The ancestor listens, confused by the mention of a familiar name. She names the traitor who sold his own soul for ascension, Liu Qinghe. The ancestor realizes his artificial core will not save him. Back at the sect, Fang channels raw lightning through his meridians. He gives the demon wolf a strict order to guard the perimeter. Lang Tian accepts the command, prepared to secure the area. Fang approaches a massive stone gateway carved into the mountain. The ancient arrays recognize his signature and grind open, spilling light. Fang glares at the red letters painted on the monolith. Fang, Ling Xiao, and dogs are not allowed inside. The disrespect is blatant. Ignoring the insult, he spots a humble wooden box on a pedestal. Decades of betrayals make him suspect a trap. He expects this treasure to force a long overdue breakthrough. A hologram materializes. A cloaked woman sits elegantly on the air. She holds a glowing blue fragment, revealing the treasure is incomplete. She asks if he understands the origin of the core fragment. Fang crosses his arms, admitting he has no idea whose power this is. She tosses the glowing gem to him, declaring it is his property. This is only one of 5 fragments holding his lost cultivation. Fang narrows his eyes, processing the massive revelation. She urges him to absorb it and unlock the sealed truth. The projection begins to flicker and fade into the shadows. Fang reaches out, demanding her name. A profound connection tugs at him. She smiles, calling herself Bai Li as her form turns translucent. The core integrates. A storm of heavenly thunder erupts from his chest. His cultivation surges past foundation stages directly into the golden core realm. That's the heavenly Tao manifests, demanding he abandon his physical vessel. Bai Li warns him the space is collapsing into a dimensional pocket. Fang realizes the heavens are trying to hijack his perfectly forged body. He prepares to fight, but Bai Li steps in to manipulate the timeline. She promises to wait for him at the end of the temporal distortion. She smiles with absolute trust, confident he will stabilize his realm. Fang watches her sacrifice herself to buy him the time he needs. The dimensional seal closes, forcing him to meditate and refine the lightning. He pleads for her to stop, desperate to break the sequence. He calculates the time dilation, ordering her to wait. She refuses his command, choosing to sacrifice her own path. She channels her soul energy, preparing the ultimate barrier. Fang realizes what she is about to do. The giant starry hand of the heavens reaches down to crush them. Fang lunges forward, trying to break her spell. The heavenly Tao declares the resistance futile. Bai Li stands firm against the cosmic entity. She chooses to protect him over her own ascension. Fang wakes up, a flood of sealed memories breaking open. He stares at a golden earring, a token from a forgotten past. The realization of her true identity hits him like a physical blow. He spots a blue folded robe resting on the cavern floor. He reads the note she left behind. He clenches his fist. Surviving this requires far more power. Outside, all Lang Tian practices practices his martial arts routines to pass the time. A massive singularity opens in the sky, shocking the wolf. Immortal Qinghe steps out of the void, demanding Fang's location. Lang Tian senses the overwhelming law energy, but refuses to back down. Qinghe tilts his head, annoyed. The dog transforms into a giant fire wolf. The wolf fires a massive beam. Qinghe slices it in half with ease. The envoy summons Xiao Bai, a massive white serpent with red eyes. The giant snake descends, casting a shadow over the entire sect. Lang Tian recognizes the sheer difference in their cultivation levels. Qinghe commands the snake to devour the wolf and advance its evolution. The white serpent lunges, blasting the wolf with a torrent of fire. Ye Qingyao watches the slaughter from a nearby window. She debates running for her life. The gap in power is insurmountable. She watches the wolf struggle, getting crushed by the massive serpent. She refuses to let a stray dog show more courage than the acting leader. She ignites her latent dragon bloodline, golden scales tracing her skin. She transforms into a golden dragon, ascending to clash with the serpent. Qinghe finds the sudden appearance of a dragon mildly amusing. She channels her ancestral power into a devastating golden explosion. The white snake shrugs it off. Qinghe shoots a green beam to ground the dragon. The spirit beast ancestor floats in a red space facing the girl on the bird. She confirms the envoy is his old acquaintance, Liu Qinghe. The ancestor ignites with fire, furious at the mention of the traitor. Qinghe approaches the fallen Ye Qingyao, intent on absorbing her bloodline. A massive blade of fire cuts toward the envoy from the side. Qinghe smiles as the flames approach, greeting the attacker. A massive fiery explosion engulfs the white snake. The ancestor grabs Qinghe's glowing barrier, fueled by rage. A giant fiery beast avatar appears behind the old man, roaring for blood. Qinghe remains perfectly calm inside his shield. The fire avatar punches the barrier with everything it has. Qinghe freezes the ancestor in green energy, claiming divine abilities mean nothing. A voice calls down from above, interrupting the execution. The girl on the giant bird floats down, ordering Qinghe to stop. Qinghe looks up, sensing an aura from the immortal palace. She points a flaming finger, demanding he behave himself. Qinghe sighs, finding the intervention incredibly boring. He waves a finger at the frozen ancestor, offering a challenge. He steps into a black rift, telling him to meet at the upcoming competition. The girl looks down at the battered survivors in the rubble. Ye Qingyao struggles to lift her head. The girl delivers a message. Fang can find them at the Immortal Palace tournament. The giant bird takes flight, leaving the warning behind. The bird vanishes into a golden portal in the sky. 1 month later, the timeline advances while Fang remains sealed. Lang Tian paces nervously at the city gates, worried about Fang's absence. The celestial envoy arrives, bathed in radiance, to announce the games. The envoy dictates the strict rule. Every sect must field 4 cultivators. Lang Tian realizes they are short on members to qualify. A beautiful woman in white steps forward, volunteering to fill the slot. Lang Tian sniffs the air, and recognizing a faint trace of Fang's aura on her, the envoy declares the competition location: Lingjing City, a sprawling labyrinth built to test the strongest cultivators. Inside the central palace, the city lord receives an urgent report. A massive disturbance forms outside. The guard begs her to look. The city lord stares into the sky, her eyes widening in sheer terror. A colossal golden hand reaches down, casting a shadow over the city. The participants stare up at the descending doom, paralyzed by the scale. The woman in white explains the upper realm routinely erases memories. She adds a grim detail: people frequently go missing to cover up celestial crimes. The late Lan Yun'ao was the only mortal to uncover the truth, and it cost his life. Lang Tian curses the sheer destructive scale of the upper realm's intervention. The woman in white steps forward, refusing to let another massacre happen. She channels profound energy to counter the descending hand. A terrifying envoy with green eyes oversees the destruction from above. She announces the ultimate prize for surviving: the Ascension Treasure. A bald elder from a rival sect drools at the prospect. He looks down on the other participants, assuming they are weak garbage. He plans to claim the treasure and usurp his own sect leader. The elder arrogantly asks where the envoy is hiding. The envoy smiles directly into his mind. He realizes his fatal mistake. The massive golden hand slams into the earth like a falling meteor. The shockwave shatters barriers, pulverizing the arrogant cultivators. Lang Tian and Ye Qingyao watch the devastation in shock. The woman in white summons a golden sword of light that slices the hand in half. A black-haired man watching from afar acknowledges her sharp teeth. He decides to step in and test the waters himself. He summons a ball of stellar fire, targeting the woman in white. He launches the sacrificial fire to burn the defenders to cinders. The surviving bald elder demands a fair fight from the sky. The stellar fire ignores his plea, locking onto his loud spiritual signature. The flames engulf the elder. He screams in absolute agony. He begs for mercy, scrambling toward the woman in white. She places a hand on the burning man's face, neutralizing the flames. She forces the fire back, buying him a few seconds of life. He triggers a golden bell protection technique to survive the heat. The black-haired man rushes in, locking onto his true target. She pushes a dimensional barrier forward to meet his strike. She locks him inside a glowing blue rectangle rectangular box in midair. He smiles inside the box, impressed by her near-stillness time barrier. The green-eyed envoy jumps down, declaring the tournament is not over. Lang Tian realizes there is more than one envoy. A true immortal's aura appears. The woman in white sweats. The combined pressure is too much. She yells for her team to run from the innate Dharma form. The captive Qinghe mocks the new arrival for stealing his glory. A giant, beautiful goddess appears in the sky. Qinghe finds it a hassle. The goddess prepares to flatten the continent. The woman in white resists. Thousands of glowing blue swords rain down like a localized apocalypse. The woman in white blocks the swords with her own blue light. Lang Tian boasts, but the goddess warns that no one escapes her trap. Qinghe explains the black sphere collapses dimensions into a singularity. The city lord realizes the evacuation was pointless against this magic. The city lord clutches her cracking gem, hoping for a miracle. The goddess sneers. Her law is space. The collapse cannot touch her. The woman in white prepares to sacrifice her second-level Dharma body. The goddess finds the concept of self-sacrifice utterly repulsive. Suddenly, the goddess clutches her head. An unnatural unease spreads. She recognizes the inescapable grip of causality. Multiple avatars of the woman appear, locking her in a fatal karmic loop. The goddess screams in pure rage at the universal backlash. A massive spectral figure of Fang Ling Xiao manifests behind the woman. The woman in white delivers the verdict. The goddess is destined to die. The goddess thrashes wildly, rejecting her assigned fate. A black hole opens in her stomach, consuming her entirely. The green-eyed envoy looks up, terrified by her sister's death. Lang Tian is confused, wondering if the battle is already over. The envoy shakes. She realizes her sister's existence was erased. The woman in white reversed time itself to rewrite history. The envoy trembles in absolute fear of the karmic power. A giant vortex opens in the sky. A booming voice condemns the manipulation. A massive glowing face appears, declaring itself an agent of the immortal palace. The envoy panics. A giant boot steps down from the vortex to crush them. The woman in white falls, whispering a final prayer to Fang Ling Xiao. A massive explosion turns the city block into a crater. The woman opens her eyes. The lethal blow never touched her skin. She smiles happily, realizing who just saved her. A different blue-haired woman floats down, keeping the jade pendant. The rescuer tells them to leave quickly, then flies into the storm. The agent of the immortal palace lands in the rubble, cursing the interference. Lang Tian watches a giant spatial rift open in the darkening sky. The agent holds up a glowing gourd, preparing a massive attack. The heaven-swallowing gourd sucks in the landscape. A massive blue spectral figure holding a sword appears behind Fang. The agent sneers, convinced her artifact can absorb any physical attack. The spectral sword stabs the gourd, cracking it instantly. The gourd shatters. The agent prepares to erase everyone and sever ties. Blue sparks dance across the ruined ground. The agent creates a barrier, planning to take them back for experiments. Fang Ling Xiao floats down covered in lightning, ready to fight. He clutches his chest. The teleportation pendant activated perfectly. He demands she pledge loyalty or face complete annihilation. The agent tries to fight back with her lifeless sword technique. As she realizes he is using an ancient divine ability to slay gods. The agent screams, preparing to explode and take the world with her. Fang conjures water energy to create a world without tribulation. The explosion is contained in a sphere. The sky turns blue with flowers. The agent is trapped in a beautiful illusion field, completely neutralized. Fang clenches his fist, crushing the space around her. Lang Tian smiles, awed by the boss's absolute power. Lang Tian turns serious, receiving a telepathic command to run. He sprints away. Fang stands before a black shadowy figure. The shadow shoots blue energy, complaining about the time crevice. The shadow offers two choices: surrender his core or face death. Fang smiles, hating ultimatums. He slashes the shadow with lightning. The shadow summons a green mountain illusion to crush Fang's soul. Fang swings a massive lightning axe, cleaving the mountain in half. The shadow recoils, shocked that Immortal broke a divine suppression. Fang recognizes the technique. The shadow stole his ancient master's body. The shadow charges Fang, moving faster than the eye can track. Fang blasts the shadow with a massive lightning beam, furious at the desecration. A flashback to a peaceful moment. Young Fang sits on a roof. He chews grass, as finding it ridiculous, his master needs naming advice. The master explains that a name defines the shape of the divine power. Fang leans back, thinking about the perfect title. The master describes a towering, majestic mountain. Fang visualizes the most badass rock in the history of the cosmos. He delivers the name Buzhou Mountain, a relic that supports heaven. The master asks if this mythical mountain actually exists on Earth. Fang describes a world without demonic cultivators, where mortals live safely. He admits it's not perfect, but far better than their current world. The master expresses a deep desire to visit that peaceful place. Fang promises to take him there once he achieves the supreme Dou. The master warns Fang not to carry too much karmic bloodshed. The flashback ends. Fang's eyes harden with absolute resolve. He remembers his core rule: return bullying with absolute violence. He glares at the shadow. The time for reasoning is officially over. Fang holds up a glowing eye, activating the celestial spirit flower pupil. He grabs the shadow, locking its spiritual sexual energy instantly. Fang pulls the shadow toward him, preparing to tear it apart. The shadow is shocked, realizing Fang's soul wasn't completely sealed. Fang charges a massive punch. The shadow realizes there is another soul inside him. Fang screams as lightning consumes the shadow. He devours the energy. He looks possessed, his eyes glowing bright white with raw power. The shadow panics, recognizing the presence from the intermediate layer. Fang violently rips the shadow apart. It manages to reform slightly. The shadow apologizes to a voice from above, admitting failure. It confesses it didn't expect the safety measure inside Fang. A blonde goddess on a throne finds the failure troublesome but amusing. She orders a retreat. Fang lunges at the portal, demanding more energy. The goddess looks genuinely shocked by his relentless pursuit. Fang shoots a massive beam of energy up into the closing portal. He punches the beam higher. The goddess wonders what he is doing. Fang unleashes a massive wave of lightning directly into the rift. The lightning strikes the goddess's domain, shattering the barriers. The ceiling of the throne room cracks. Fang prepares another strike. He punches through the dimensional barrier. The goddess shoots a beam back. Fang kicks the beam away. He is briefly trapped in a white box. He breaks the box and shoots another beam. Hungry for more power, he pants, calming down. His eyes return to normal. He realizes the extent of the celestial manipulation against him. He holds a ball of lightning, annoyed by the entity who stole his past body. A massive explosion rocks the sky. Fang watches, unbothered. The goddess floats down through a dark portal, asking what happened. She decides she cannot waste power on Fang with the sequence war approaching. She rubs her forehead, annoyed by the unexpected variable. A sharp cracking sound echoes through the air. Fang refuses to suffer a loss. He grabs at the air, extracting a soul fragment. He rips the black soul out of the sky. The goddess screams in pain. Fang refines the black soul fragment, absorbing its raw energy. He glows with immense power, breaking through to a new stage again. A tiny black blob with eyes floats next to him. He orders it to speak. He demands to know the locations of the remaining core fragments. The blob sweats, knowing a lie means instant soul death. It reveals the city of Dao burning, an eternal neutral zone. All techniques perish there. Cultivation turns into currency for trading. Fang calculates the risk. A city where raw physical strength rules is his perfect playground. He decides to set course for the city of Dou burning immediately. He leaves a shred of the blob's soul intact as a living compass. He warns the blob that deception will end with it scattered across the wind. The golden goddess stands over a box, plotting her next move in the war. She admits Fang's karma is too deeply entrenched to simply erase. She clutches her arm. She cannot turn back now. She glows with absolute resolve, determined to win the sequence struggle. A disguised beggar kneels in the dust. A sword-wielding man tells him to return home. The man explains the city lord gave an order that cannot be disobeyed. The beggar looks annoyed, frustrated by his subordinate's persistence. The man drops 2 broken pieces of a jade pendant on the ground. They agree to go home. Later, the beggar pitches a divine technique to Fang. Fang bluntly states he has no blue spirit coins. A young girl exposes the beggar as a serial scammer who owes her a pancake. She tells Fang not to listen to the beggar and warns him of robbers. The beggar walks with Fang and Xiaofan, eager to make a deal. The beggar stares at Fang's coin pouch, sensing a massive aura of wealth. He praises Fang's bone structure. Fang notes the beggar's hidden divine body cultivation. The beggar offers his secret art for 40 coins. The girl yells at him again. The beggar explains that flying is restricted on this road by a divine array. He drops his price, begging to be their guide for just 5 coins. Xiaofan nervously asks why he was chosen to tag along instead of seniors. Fang answers honestly. Xiaofan's weakness makes him perfect for triggering encounters. The senior disciples are needed to guard the sect. This is Xiaofan's trial. The beggar catches up, desperately lowering his price to 2 coins. He holds up 2 fingers, guaranteeing their absolute safety on the road. Fang agrees, by promising the second coin only after they enter the city. The beggar accepts, throwing in food and lodging to seal the deal. The black blob whispers that 2 coins for a guide is a massive ripoff. The blob points out the beggar's former cultivation was no joke. Fang suspects keeping the eccentric powerhouse close will yield a seed of fortune. The blob is amazed Fang can sense former power levels despite the suppression. The beggar leads them to an inn. The blob finds him suspiciously familiar. The beggar tosses a coin, explaining that entering the city is not easy. He details the brutal economics. Surviving costs 1 blue spirit coin per day. Fang tells him it's alright, unbothered by the steep entry fee. The beggar smiles, assuming Fang must be extremely powerful to afford it. He brags that in his prime, he could one-punch a true immortal. The black blob sneers, finding the beggar's claims absolutely laughable. Xiaofan is amazed. The beggar nervously downgrades his claim to 3 punches. He sweats, admitting 1 punch might not actually cut it against a god. Xiaofan asks if he has ever seen a true immortal. The beggar stammers a denial. He mutters that an immortal's mere glance would reduce a beginner to dust. They arrive at a large wooden tavern to rest before the final march. Fang and the beggar sit at a table on the open deck. A flashback shows Fang removing a tracking mark from Li Yi, the cloaked man. Li Yi glares, swearing to kill his savior once they reach the city. In the present, the innkeeper innkeeper greets the beggar and leads them to premium seats. An aerial view of the tavern shows a quiet moment before the storm. Li Yi speaks to the dark spirit, confirming the entity has awakened. The spirit orders Li Yi to leave at once because Fang Ling Xiao has arrived. Li Yi insists it's fine, claiming he and Fang are acquaintances. The spirit calls him a fool, warning that Fang is entangled with terrifying karma. The dark spirit's giant red eyes glare from the shadows, sensing the danger. Li Yi sweats, realizing his grudge just turned into a lethal mistake. The innkeeper opens a door to check a room, finding it completely empty. He wonders where the occupant vanished to so quickly. He leads Fang's group to their table, promising the food will be ready soon. Fang realizes his cultivation is being suppressed by an external formation. The beggar offers to answer any questions the two deities might have. Fang asks the distance to the city. The beggar confirms it's a day's march. The beggar casually asks which sect his new clients hail from. Xiaofan proudly declares they belong to the legendary Ling Xiao sect. He introduces Fang as the ancient founder who survived the heavenly tribulation. Fang asks the beggar about his past. The beggar claims he lost his power in the burning region. The server brings a massive feast. The beggar rejoices at the lucky meal. Half an hour later, Xiaofan nervously offers to go check on the absent Fang. He walks away, warned by the beggar to hurry back before the food is gone. Xiaofan bumps hard into someone, stumbling backward from the impact. The man wears the white robes of the Cloud Crane sect. Xiaofan apologizes frantically. The arrogant noble glares, calling Xiaofan a filthy bug looking for death. The noble orders him to scram. Fang appears, blocking the path with a wind barrier. A burst of energy pushes the noble back. Xiaofan calls out to his grandmaster. The noble yells at Fang to stop. The noble is furious that a peasant dares to interfere with his path. A female disciple warns the noble that Fang's cultivation is not low. The noble draws his sword, refusing to reason with mere mortals. Fang catches the razor-sharp edge between two fingers effortlessly. The noble struggles to pull his sword free, demanding to know who Fang is. Fang states he would have mistaken the noble for a stray dog if he hadn't spoken. Fang laughs at the Flying Crane sect for recruiting such a massive embarrassment. He tells the noble his sect is no different from a stray dog on the roadside. The noble is shocked by the blatant disrespect. The vice leader floats in, all defending his sect's honor against the arrogance. The noble brags that his master reached the spirit venerable realm in a century. Fang sighs. Beat the pup, and the old dog comes running. The vice leader attacks with a giant glowing sword, demanding blood. Fang shatters the sword with a look, shocking the vice leader. Fang instantly appears behind the older man, moving faster than sight. Fang kicks him into the sky to avoid disturbing the tavern's business. The vice leader falls to the ground, realizing he offended a true monster. He throws energy feathers at Fang, but Fang deflects them easily. Fang promises to spare his life. The vice leader summons a giant ice sword block. Fang crushes the sword block, forcing the vice leader to drop an entire major realm. Fang slaps the vice leader, humiliating him in front of his disciples. The vice leader begs for mercy, offering compensation to settle the matter. Fang agrees, deciding to use the noble's own words against them. Fang activates his aura. The immense pressure crushes the vice leader to the floor. The vice leader begs for his life. Fang assures him he won't kill him. Fang explains his reasoning. He uses strength to suppress those who use status. The noble bows on the floor, apologizing frantically for his arrogance. Fang points to Xiaofan, demanding the apology be directed at the boy. Xiaofan awkwardly accepts the apology, overwhelmed by the tension. Fang shakes his head, annoyed by his disciple's soft heart. Fang asks the noble what he would have done if Fang wasn't there to protect the boy. The noble sweats, admitting he would have returned at night to kill Xiaofan. He realizes he spoke his murderous intentions out loud due to a truth command. Fang puts a hand on Xiaofan's shoulder, asking what he thinks now. Fang assures the boy that the Ling Xiao sect is under his absolute protection. The beggar watches quietly, finding the display of power truly interesting. Fang looks serious, declaring a life and death battle for his disciple. The noble is terrified by the sudden escalation. Xiaofan is shocked, wondering why his ancestor is forcing him to fight. Fang hands Xiaofan the crushed lifebound sword fragment to use as a weapon. The female disciple notices the fragment looks exactly like her master's sword. The vice leader coughs blood. Fang commands the duel to begin. The noble draws his sword, attacking Xiaofan under Fang's orders. Xiaofan blocks with the ice fragment, shattering the noble's blade. The noble uses a giant crane projection. Xiaofan gets hit and falls, fearing death. Xiaofan's face warps with red energy. A massive claw tears into the noble. Fang observes calmly. True potential only awakens in absolute desperation. Xiaofan forms an ice sword and triggers a massive red explosion. Xiaofan lunges at the noble with lethal intent, his eyes glowing red. The vice leader blocks Xiaofan's strike to save his disciple's life. A flashback to a rainy village. A mother and father face an armed intruder. A large bandit leader demands the mother as his camp wife. The bandit tosses a coin. The father tries to defend them with a farming hoe. The bandit casually slashes the father down with a giant sword. The mother cries in pure terror, watching her husband fall. The bandit grabs her, knowing the ruined sect won't come to save them. Young Xiaofan steps out holding a kitchen knife, demanding he let her go. The mother screams for him to run. The bandit thinks the kid is a pretty girl. The bandit smiles, offering to take the child up the mountain to eat well. Xiao Fan is terrified, backing away from the approaching brute. The bandit reaches out, his face twisted in a predatory grin. The mother breaks free and punches the bandit, fighting to the death for her child. The bandit slaps her away. Xiao Fan's eyes ignite with red energy. The bandit looks surprised by the sudden demonic aura. Xiao Fan attacks. The bandit kicks him away, ordering his men to kill the brat. Rain pours over the ruined village. The bandits lie dead on the ground. Young Xiao Fan cries, hugging his dying mother in the mud. His eyes shoot red energy, overwhelmed by the traumatic awakening. His mother apologizes, telling him to sleep and it will get better. She hugs him, A's admitting she still wants to see him grow up. Xiao Fan blames himself. She assures him he is a good child. Her hand drops next to the bloody kitchen knife. She dies in the rain, her final wish left unfulfilled. Her lifeless face rests in the mud, tears mixing with the storm. Back in the present flashback, Lan Yunao walks through the rain, assessing the tragedy. He spots the living child, wondering if this is the crucial cog in fate. Lan Yunao's eye glows purple as he activates the myriad phenomena reversal seal. He coughs blood, his failing body barely holding on to cast the spell. He looks at the sleeping Xiao Fan, deciding to cast an illusion to hide her beauty. In the present, the vice leader throws an ice sword at Xiao Fan. The vice leader coughs blood, shocked by the kid's sudden burst of strength. Fang steps in and using a blue energy ring to stop the attack and end the duel. The vice leader is shocked. Fang reiterates he won't take their lives. The vice leader flees with his disciple, swearing to get revenge later. Fang puts a hand on Xiao Fan's head, activating a massive purple array. Fang's eyes widen as he recognizes the heavenly spirit flower pupil seal. He sees the spirit of Lan Yunao, greeting his old friend after 100,000 years. Lan jokes about their lifespans, calling Fang a lucky bastard for surviving. Lan's spirit looks weak. He shows Fang the massive hole punched through his chest. He admits his power was mostly used up long ago to shatter the godly bridge. The missing flower pupil leaves him clinging to a miserable existence. Lan holds up a small purple wisp, deciding to leave the rest of the war to Fang. Yeah, he explains this wisp is Xiao Fan's clear mind, a vital gear in overthrowing heaven. Fang takes the wisp, asking if there is any way to save the old legend. Lan denies it. He glows brightly, preparing his final appearance and testament. Lan transforms back into his young, handsome self for his departure. He smiles, refusing to leave the world looking like a mess. They look out together, reminiscing about their ancient adventures. A flashback shows young Fang complaining about Lan dragging him down in a fight. Young Lan scoffs, happy to be rewarded by Miss Kang Yue despite the criticism. Lan flips Fang off. Fang complains about the disrespectful gesture. Kang Yue sighs, telling the two childish idiots to stop messing around. In the present, Lan reveals that gesture was indeed a curse. He asks if his daughter is safe. Lan stands in the purple water, cursing Fang for interrupting his peaceful passing. Fang watches the fading soul, accepting the cold, uninteresting price of becoming a god. Lan Yunao gives the middle finger to the void, a final gesture of defiance before his ancient soul begins to scatter. Fang stares at his own hand in the aftermath, reflecting on how the endless pursuit of power has eroded his human emotions. Fang forces his way into his disciple's inner world, gripping his sword as he spots a massive shadow demon lurking in the dark space. The white-haired master glares down at a vast, terrifying sea of chained shadow demons waiting in the depths below. The demonic horde charges up the chains, but Fang unleashes a massive burst of blue lightning to tear the shadows into dust. The red-eyed demon refuses to die, rebuilding its body from the thick crimson liquid pooling on the floor. Fang summons the coiling dragon cauldron, a massive blue artifact designed to refine and consume an endless sea of soul bodies. The shadow demons panic and merge into a towering red tornado, surging upward to summon their main body and crush the cauldron. The artifact shatters in a blinding explosion of light, revealing a towering woman constructed of red energy and white bone. Fang stands his ground in the void, recognizing her as a demon aggregate who managed to break his ancient suppression artifact. The red demon lunges forward with a twisted grin, aiming a lethal clawed strike straight at the intruder. Halting her attack mid-air, the entity acknowledges his fast reflexes and admits she will not make the mistake of underestimating him. The void warps as she ignites her sequence-level divine power, transforming the mental space into the Hongmeng blood fiend's small world. As if Fang finds himself waist-deep in an endless ocean of blood, unable to summon his spiritual power under her domain rules, the demon sits back with an arrogant smirk, boasting about the millions of self-proclaimed chosen ones she has already slaughtered. Fang stands bare-chested in the bloody water, questioning how an evil entity residing inside a young girl could be 1,000,000 years old. Pride twists her features as she reveals her strategy to hide from the heavens inside this specific vessel. A glowing hand reaches out, intent on diving into the deepest depths of his soul to uncover his hidden trump cards. Inside his inner world, she discovers a chaotic, swirling remnant of pure heavenly lightning locked in his core. She finds the lightning anomaly strange, but pushes deeper into his mind, eager to see what other secrets he hides. Fang smirks in the physical plane, showing zero fear of her dangerous mental intrusion. She peers into his massive glowing blue eye, searching for the core of his true identity. The demon recoils in sheer terror, realizing she just tried to invade the mind of a sequence-level entity with power, eclipsing a god. She scrambles backward on her hands and knees, desperate to understand the identity of her target. Fang's eye flashes with overwhelming authority, radiating a pressure that forces her down into the blood. Her soul clone shatters under the sheer weight of his true identity as the legendary first sect master. Fang stands tall in the blood ocean, looking down at the trembling demon who now understands the massive power gap between them. She clutches her chest in panic, screaming that the celestial authorities should have fed him to the rift long ago. Fang attacks her physical form, driving 2 fingers forward like a spear to confirm her worst fears. The demon holds up a dark wisp of energy, revealing she stole a piece of Xiao Fan's soul when the cauldron broke. She assimilates the soul wisp into her own body, linking her life to the young girl to force a lethal stalemate. Fang swings a massive blade of blood-red energy straight down at her, without a single moment of hesitation. The blast knocks her out of the air in a shower of blood, proving he will not negotiate with a parasite. Fang pins her to the ground, demanding to know if she intends to drag his grand disciple down into the grave with her. She smirks, her eyes glowing purple as she assumes she has uncovered his ultimate moral weakness. In mocking his lingering shred of humanity, the entity claims his empathy is a fatal flaw. The comparison to the old fool Lan Yunao slips from her lips, expecting him to throw his life away for the sake of others. Dangling the glowing soul wisp, she stands confident in her high-stakes mental chess game. Fang moves with blinding speed, driving his hand straight toward her head before she can react. He shatters her wrist and snatches the soul wisp out of her grasp in a burst of crimson energy. The demon stares in pure shock at the massive bleeding hole he just punched straight through her chest. Fang stands back as the blood ocean ripples around them, correcting her massive misunderstanding of his character. He glares down at her, explaining he was never hesitating, just calculating her exact desire to survive. Since their lives are linked, as Fang knows she will do whatever it takes to keep the host body breathing. Fang crushes the stolen soul wisp in his bare hand, forcing her into a desperate corner. The demon panics, realizing he just forced her to burn her own sequence power to heal the injured girl. She looks up at his cold face, realizing his divinity has erased every last drop of his human empathy. The two stand in the shallow water while he demands actionable information about the upper realm's movements. She glares at him with pure hatred, demanding he leave her inner world before triggering a collapse. The inner world ignites with fire, expelling Fang back to the physical realm in a flash of light. Back in reality, Xiaofan checks her hands, realizing the berserk evil energy has vanished from her system. Fang tells her the evil body is subdued. Ira and they walk toward the edge of the stone pavilion to leave. The little dark blob, Ying, curses himself for being useless against the ancient evil presence inside the girl. Ying notices a strange sensation, realizing someone is staring at him from the shadows. Shock hits the spirit. A normal mortal beggar should not be able to perceive a hidden celestial entity. The beggar glares at the dark blob, warning him to behave himself and drop the arrogant attitude. A mention of a specific devastating punch from their distant past serves to jog the spirit's memory. Ying's eyes widen as he recognizes the man from the Grand Celestial Tournament 70 millennia ago. The beggar, Liu Qingshan, glares at the spirit with undeniable authority over his domain. He reminds Ying that a mere remnant soul has no right to act arrogant in the presence of a superior. The next day, the group walks along a wide dirt road toward a sprawling, crowded settlement in the valley. Xiaofan spots ragged men sitting in the dirt. Liu explains they are the withered, abandoned by their sects. Liu sweats when Xiaofan asks if these ruined beggars share his condition. One of the withered stares at the heavy pouch hanging from Fang's belt with desperate, greedy eyes. The desperate man lunges forward, begging for a few blue essence coins to save his fading life. Fang looks away, knowing that handing out coins here would cause a massive riot on the street. Liu steps in and kicks the beggar away with a swift, punishing strike to the chest. Liu tells them to ignore the desperate men, who ruined their own lives by gambling their cultivation away. The beggar screams in despair, furious that a rich man refuses to share a fraction of his wealth. He curses his fate, realizing 1,000 years of cultivation means nothing if he dies rotting in the dirt. Another broken man laughs in the background, his mind shattered by the total loss of his power. Liu explains the brutal rules of Fendow City, a place that absorbs cultivation rather than lifespan. Cultivators lose their purpose when their power is drained, and many go insane from the sheer sense of loss. Fang rubs his chin. Having spent 10,000 years under lightning, he understands the weight of lost time better than anyone. A large man with red hair blocks their path, demanding a reward for dealing with the beggars. Wang Xia points a thumb at himself. All are trying to extort the newcomers for basic protection money. Fang finds this cycle of extortion annoying and tells the street thug to scram. Wang Xia freezes in place, a cold bead of sweat dripping down the side of his face. The thug recognizes the terrifying physical aura radiating off Fang's unmoving body. Fang could flip this entire city upside down without using a single drop of spiritual energy. They arrive at a glowing golden teleportation array surrounded by massive stone courtyard walls. The gatekeeper sits on a floating chair, demanding 3 blue coins per person for entry. Fang drops the required 9 coins into the gatekeeper's outstretched hand without a second thought. Inspecting the high purity of the blue essence coins, the gatekeeper realizes Fang carries serious wealth. Fang confirms it is his first time here, all missing the gatekeeper's greedy, calculating smirk. They step onto the glowing yellow array and teleport directly into the bustling city streets. A subordinate suggests they track the newcomers tonight and shake them down for their heavy coin pouches. The older guard warns them not to cause trouble, sensing Fang is an extraordinary threat to the city. The gatekeeper brushes off the warning, confident that in Fendow City, even a dragon has to bow to local rules. An aerial view shows the sprawling, ancient architecture of the massive Fendow outer city. Xiaofan looks disappointed, noting the green mountains and clear waters look rather ordinary. Fang confirms his cultivation is sealed and asks Ying about the location of the inner core. Ying confirms the core is locked tightly inside the city lord's treasury in the inner district. Fang asks Liu how to reach the inner district from their current location on the ground. Liu points a finger straight up, revealing the inner city is hidden high in the sky above them. Xiaofan and Fang look up at the empty blue sky, seeing nothing but normal white clouds. Liu explains they need capital verification and a strong recommendation to ascend to the inner city. Fang decides a recommendation sounds like too much work and plans to jump up there tonight. A crier announces news from the city lord. The second young master is returning home. To celebrate the return, residency fees for the entire city are waived for 1 full month. The crowd murmurs in surprise, unaware the city lord even had a second son. Liu praises the generosity, noting that equals 30 coins saved per person in the outer city. As Fang notes the immense scale of this gesture, affecting thousands of people simultaneously. Fang analyzes the blue essence coins, realizing they can be absorbed directly without refinement. Liu confirms the coins can boost someone straight to immortal status without any actual physical training. A muscular man crushes a glowing coin, absorbing the raw, artificial energy right into his flesh. Fang suspects Fendow City is artificially creating immortals in league with the heavenly realm. Cut to a lavish room where the second young master, Li Haotian, kneels before his father. The city lord drinks from a teacup, dismissing his son's apologies since he never expected much anyway. The father orders Haochin to investigate a new arrival possessing pure spiritual energy. He tells his son to stay in the outer city and observe the target without engaging. Haochin leaves the grand pavilion, walking past a heavily armed, silent sword guard. Back on the streets, Fang hands a heavy loaded coin pouch directly to the beggar. Liu looks at the bag, surprised by the 10 blue essence coins inside. Fang tells him to go handle his business, officially ending the guide's job for the day. Liu bows his head, thanking Fang for the generous payment before walking away into the crowd. As Liu leaves the area, Haotian walks past him in the middle of the bustling street. Xiaofan's eyes widen in shock, recognizing the man walking past them. Haotian stops and turns around, recognizing the young girl from his distant past in the sect. Xiaofan is stunned, demanding to know why her senior brother abandoned the Ling Xiao sect. Haotian smiles, admitting he saw no future in cultivation and went home to run a business. He looks past Xiaofan and recognizes the tall, white-haired man standing behind her. Xiaofan proudly introduces Fang as the legendary first sect master of the Ling Xiao sect. Haotian nods, understanding the terrifying power dynamic at play here. Haotian touches his forehead, realizing his father's target is the old sect's mythical ancestor. He breathes a sigh of relief, glad he did not walk into this dangerous situation blind. Haochin offers to use his local influence to find them a premium place to stay for the night. Fang smirks, never turning down free hospitality when it is offered to him. Haochin signals his hidden guard to secure a high-end private estate for the honored guests. Fang notices the hidden guard, and realizing a sword immortal bodyguard means Haochin carries serious wealth. They arrive at a massive, sprawling private courtyard with a beautifully decorated central pond. The guard bows his head and takes his leave for the night, leaving them to rest. Fang stands alone on the stone bridge, enjoying the quiet, peaceful atmosphere of the estate. He tells the girls to get a good rest today, warning them that something big might happen tonight, late at night. A thick fog rolls over the dark rooftops of the outer city. Fang stands on the highest roof ridge, preparing to infiltrate the floating inner city above them. He leaps into the sky with a massive burst of pure physical speed, leaving a crater on the roof. The impact shatters the ceramic tiles, the explosive noise echoing through the quiet courtyard. The hidden protector hears the blast and moves to intercept the fast-moving intruder. He draws his blade, demanding the intruder's identity in the night sky. Recognition hits him mid-jump. He pursues the white-haired target across the rooftops. Acknowledging the intruder's incredible speed, he prepares a trap to ground him, the spirit-trapping sword. A ray activates, sending glowing blades raining down from above. The glowing blue swords lock together, forming a circular cage on the rooftop. Astonishment crosses his face. This intruder relies on physical strength rather than cultivation. With the sky canopy shattered, holding back his true strength is no longer an option. He unleashes a sequence-level divine power, warping space into the myriad swords' small world. Fang scowls. Sequence-level powers seem irritatingly common in this city, but his opponent pieces it together. Surviving this long means Fang already killed a sequence candidate. Hovering in the air, the swordsman measures the massive threat level of the man standing below. Fang just sighs, thinking about all the fake inner cores and bizarre candidates flooding this world. A massive vortex of blades materializes, launching downward to crush the intruder. Frustration boils over. Fang demands to know if this game is over yet. He bats the glowing weapons away with bare hands, deflecting the myriad swords with pure speed. Panic sets in above. The attacker is overwhelmed by Fang's raw power and heavenly lightning aura. Fang drives his fist forward, shattering the dimension itself with a single, devastating physical strike. The broken dimension spits the swordsman out, and sending him scrambling backward to survive the impact. Bruised and outmatched, he knows he must report this bizarre monster to the city lord without delay. He mutters a quiet warning to himself. Fendow City is about to experience a violent, unstoppable change. Fang lands back on his roof, spotting the gatekeeper's men harassing the girls in the courtyard below. The thugs demand an outrageous tax of 20 blue essence coins just for the flatbreads the girls bought. The corrupt gatekeeper is disappointed, expecting these specific targets to carry serious wealth. The new girl refuses to pay the extortion fee, threatening the thugs with her master's imminent return. The gatekeeper loses his patience and orders his men to push past them and search the property. Pointing a finger at the girls, he orders his subordinate to cripple their limbs and throw them out. Lei Li steps forward with a cruel smile, ready to break some bones, forcing the girl to step back in fear. The bald thug scoffs, prepared to execute the brutal order on the defenseless girls. A massive shockwave blasts the thug across the courtyard as Fang arrives right on time to intercept the attack. Fang cracks his knuckles with a dark glare. He had a lot of built-up irritation from the sky fight, and these thugs just volunteered to be his punching bags. This brings us to the end of the chapter. If you want to see Fang obliterate these corrupt guards, comment Part 3 and subscribe to Manhwa Regress.